Hi everyone. So it's been a while since I've been on, almost a month, and I decided that I want to document my story with preeclampsia. Um, and I've been doing a little bit of research, and when I was pregnant, I did do research, but I wanted to do a little bit more and see if I can help the cause, because it's a very serious condition. Uh, it's life-threatening. And it wasn't until after I gave birth that I realized how close um, to death I really was, and how much of a miracle my daughter is. So I just kind of want to bring awareness out to everyone, because I know it's not very common, but to those that it affects, it's a life-changing experience. I mean, definitely it was for me, and so I just want to go over what I experienced and what I'm still experiencing. So, when I was 23 weeks pregnant, I went in for my normal checkup, 4 weeks, and there was a trace amount of protein in my urine, and my blood pressure was elevated. Now, my normal blood pressure, not being pregnant, it's about 120 over 80. That's where it's always been, and I was even before I got pregnant, I was smoking, and it was still 120 over 80. So that was kind of a big red flag that should have been paid more attention to from the doctors, um, but it wasn't. And they had me do the 24-hour urine, and I did that, and there was quite a bit of protein in my urine. Um, it was, I believe, 492, and the doctors still weren't concerned. And after that, I went back, and it was back down, um, like 128 over 83 or something like that. And so I thought, out of the woods, maybe it was just a fluke. And then, um, 33 weeks, I took my blood pressure at um, Walmart, and my blood pressure was 150 over 90. So that was a major red flag to me. And Chris and I went to labor and delivery, and they admitted me. Um, and when they did the uh, the dipstick test on my urine, there wasn't any protein. But they had me do it 24 hours, so I was there for over 24 hours. And the protein had gone up, and it didn't go up a lot, but it went up. And that should have been another red flag. And so from then on out, they started seeing me twice a week at the doctor. And, I did the non-stress tests and ultrasounds to check on the baby, to see the baby's well-being. And the baby was doing fine. But all the while, my health was deteriorating. And no one at the doctor's office seemed to really care. Um, my blood pressure was still crazy. At the hospital, when I went to the hospital, they started me on labetalol, which is a really, really harsh blood pressure medication, but it's the one that they usually choose for pregnant women. And the labetalol used to give me a really, really itchy scalp. just insane itching, and it was just so annoying. And the labetalol worked, but every week and a half or so they'd have to up the dosage because my body was immune to it. So I had to take more and more pills, and all the while my body was kind of fighting itself, I guess. I began to gain a large amount of water weight, and my swelling had started at about 30 weeks. And I'm going to show some pictures at the end of this video to show you the timeline, kind of what happened to me. And I guess it wasn't that obvious what was going on, because when I got pregnant, I was 262 pounds. When I was 33 weeks pregnant, I was still 262 pounds. But, you know, more red flags were appearing. I was gaining, 10 pounds a week, and the doctors still did nothing. And at this time, I was completely safe to deliver, but no one wanted to do it. But, yeah, when I delivered Emma, I was close to 300 pounds. 10 days after I delivered Emma, I was down to 232. And that was all just some baby and mostly water weight. So that kind of gives you the idea of how bad this affected me. You can see in my past videos how swollen I was, and it got terrible. And I was still dealing with it for a while. I believe that everything's kind of settled down now. Blood pressure is pretty much back to normal, and I feel back to normal. But, I dealt with it. 2 days after I got out of the hospital, I went to get a blood pressure check at the doctor's office, and my blood pressure was 160 over 113. So for a lot of women, it just kind of disappears after you give birth, but that certainly was not the case for me. I had to deal with it. I'm 4 months postpartum now, and just like 2 weeks ago, I started to feel fine, like completely normal. So that's what, 14 weeks postpartum that it took for my body to be like, all right, calm down, you're fine. And because of the preeclampsia, I started to get anxiety. It was kind of like a post-traumatic stress kind of thing because of everything that happened to me. And at the hospital, after I delivered, my OB came in and told me that I had so much water weight in me that it diluted my blood. So I basically had water poisoning because my body was holding on to so much water. Preeclampsia, it's not anything to just kind of say, oh, well, whatever. It was a big deal. It changed everything for me. I had my labor and delivery plan completely just thrown out the window. I had to be on magnesium sulfate for 24 hours after I delivered. And that's to prevent seizures and stroke. Let's see. Just the pain of the swelling itself was just terrible. My daughter was fine. She wasn't affected by it, at all. But, it definitely took a huge toll on my body. And, part of me blames the doctors for not acting soon enough. But I understand that preeclampsia is so rare that it's easier to rule it out than to believe that it is. But I think that's kind of ridiculous because I have preeclampsia in my history, in my family history. My mom had it twice. She's had 3 kids and she's had it twice, first and the third. She had it with me too, and that's one of the warning signs. Also, my weight can be a factor. Just a lot of things. So I've been doing some research on it, and I found that women who had preeclampsia are at greater risk of having heart disease later in life. So that's a little scary. And the fact that I've had preeclampsia, it's making me really like rethink if I want to have another child, because I don't want to go through that again. But I really do want to bring another child into this world. It was the most amazing experience, even throughout everything that I went through. And if you watch my labor and delivery story, you know what I went through. And I think I would definitely do it all again for another baby. But I don't know. It was really hard. It killed my body. And for some women, it's not as bad as I had it, because I had early onset preeclampsia, but the doctors just didn't seem to think it was. But in reality, I should have been delivered. I mean, I don't think I should have been delivered at 33 weeks when I was first in the hospital, but I do believe that at 37 weeks, I should have had a scheduled induction done and then not have waited another week, because in that week that they waited, I put on another 20 pounds, no, 15 pounds of water weight. And I think that's it. Yeah, so I'm going to put in some pictures at the end of this. If you guys have any questions or think I might have left something out, please let me know. I'm very passionate about this cause, and I would love to help anyone who has to go through this. And another woman on YouTube that also had to deal with preeclampsia twice is Courtney Hale, and she's Kyle and Court, and I'm sure many of you watch her. She's amazing, and I completely commend her at how strong she's been through it. So I will be doing a 4-month update with Emma in my arms, maybe tonight. We'll see how it goes. And yeah, I thank you guys for watching, and I really hope this video was informative.